All right. Welcome back, everyone, for week 2 of our Masterclass series. Could not be more excited to have you guys on board with us for this 6-week series that we're doing, because this information could not come at more of a pertinent time. Dr. Nally did a great job last week, really outlining and setting a foundation for not just why health is so important during these times, but all the steps and every essential that you need to address to really achieve that health and really hit that next level of vitality and being that you've been striving to meet. And we're so excited to be on that journey with you. And today I'm going to cover some really great information when it comes to viruses and your immune system, really gaining an understanding and, better yet, even an appreciation for what viruses are and how your immune system is related to that. Because right now we are being inundated with information from all different aspects and different areas. You know, you turn on the news, you turn on your social media, you listen to the presidential debates, you're getting information and different information from everywhere. And it's easy to fall sometimes victim to some of those misconceptions and fallacies that are perpetuated. And sometimes you're not given the full story either. Yes, there are things to be concerned about, but a lot of times what's being left out is how to not be concerned about these things. And that's what we're gonna really dive into today. And so with week 2 here, when it comes to building a fearless immune system, we loved using the term fearless because that's what we want to instill within you. We are designed to be healthy. We have an immune system for a reason. And how do we upregulate and really strengthen that so that you're giving your body the best chances to really take on anything that comes its way, whether it is a virus or bacteria or stress from work, from family, from relationships. All these different areas are stressors on our body and things that our immune system is combating. And so when it comes to really getting an understanding and appreciation of viruses, bacteria, sickness, disease, it really starts with the germ theory. And this was something that was developed back in the mid-18th century. There was a lot of debate even happening at that time between what actually caused disease and health and sickness. And there were different schools of thought. You know, for a long time, they thought it was bad spirits that caused sickness and disease. For another period of time, they just thought it was bad body parts. They would remove different body parts that they thought were causing illness, whether it was psychological or physical. They had a lot of different techniques to try to get rid of these bad spirits in the body, leaching and bloodletting. And you look into the history, it is really fascinating in terms of how our medical industry has transitioned over time. And Louis Pasteur came along mid-18th century and developed a germ theory saying that invisible organism is what cause disease. And believed that there were germs that were causing this of some sort. And, you know, there was one germ that caused that disease, and they did different ways of trying to prove this. And it's interesting because at the time there was another gentleman by the name of Champ that was more focused on the strength of the host. And so how well the host can adapt to the environment, or these germs that came along to potentially put the body in a state where it could be affected by a germ and express symptoms of being overtaken by these germs. So at the end of the day, Louis Pasteur's theory was more accepted by the medical community at the time. It was easier to conceptualize and really market in terms of how to get rid of these germs. And really, when it comes to understanding bacteria and viruses and the role they play in disease, we need to take a step back and understand that these microorganisms are a part of our lives, our everyday lives. We can't escape them. They are present in every atmosphere, any environment that we're in. We have trillions and trillions of bacteria on and within us, within our tissues, inside our bodies, on everything that we touch, look, breathe, drink. There are bacteria and viruses everywhere. And so these things weren't necessarily known when the germ theory initially evolved. And we just didn't have a good understanding of what our immune system was and how our body actually combats these things. And so nobody realized that what we now realize is that there is 10 to the 31st viruses in our air, 10 to the 31st in our water, in seawater, 10 to the 30th in our soil systems. And for those pretty much all of us have a hard time thinking on a logarithmic scale like that. And it's hard to imagine what 10 to the 31st is. And so if you picture the universe and all the stars within the universe, it's massive, right? Take that, that's all the stars in the universe is 10 million times less than just the bacteria just in viruses in our air. And so the amount of viruses in and around us every day, every moment is incalculable. It's hard to even imagine what that's like. And I just go to say that because viruses, as well as bacteria, are a part of who we are. They play an important role in our overall health and keeping our immune system balanced, our microbiome balanced, and really keeping a balanced state in health overall. And so when we're talking about viruses, viruses actually play a really important role in our genetic expression as well. Many of you maybe have not even heard, since all of this began with coronavirus and lockdown, that that a virus is just a protein-coated microorganism that's not necessarily alive. It doesn't have any of the machinery or any ability to express life and do what even bacteria do in terms of producing energy and replicating and really carrying on normal life functions like that. They're really just packets of genetic information, usually only a handful of genes at a time, that have very specific destinations in terms of areas of the body or other organisms. Bacteria, plants, fungi are all affected by viruses as well, and have good in a good and bad way. And so viruses really interact with our cells and our genome every second of every day. We're encountering lots of new genetic information that way, because viruses will insert a lot of that genetic information within our cells, and our bodies, our own cells and genetic material will either take that information up or will degrade a lot of that and never use it. And so our immune system's not even involved in a lot of that process until things start to overwhelm our system, and our immune system will step in and really try to clean a lot of that up. And so it's a lengthy discussion, but what I want you guys to get out of this is that viruses, bacteria, these are all common things in our everyday environment that we're never going to run from. We can never run from these microorganisms that truly do play an essential role in our overall health. From a bacteria standpoint, Dr. Natalie and Dr. Bob had a great discussion. If you guys didn't see that interview, definitely go back and watch that. It's a ton of great information in terms of how to really feel empowered when it comes to everything that's going on and understanding your own body's defenses. They take a lot of time to go into that. But something to remember is that germs do not equal an outcome. and I'm talking from a symptomatic point here, where a lot of us are thinking about, because it's easy to get focused in on how a germ that's circulating around is going to cause you to be sick. And so if that was the case, every single one of us would experience the exact same symptoms, would have this exact same issues as the next person, right? And for some reason, that's not how it happens, right? And that's really because of the health of our body, the health of our immune system, our body's ability to adapt and take on these stressors. And so when it comes to your immune system and really taking care of that, we want to focus in on things that are really going to keep our body healthy overall, because your immune system yes, it is focused on making sure it's protecting your body, keeping it from pathogens, invaders that are going to cause issues within the body, but it's also there to keep your body functioning well overall. It's going to clean up a lot of cellular debris, clean up cells that are not functioning or dysfunctional, and going to get rid of those potentially what we would call cancerous cells that are now poorly replicating or causing issues within the body. And so your immune system plays a huge role in that whole process. It's much more than just causing some inflammation when you get a cut or a bruise. It's more than taking out these bad pathogens. And so something that we've heard more about in the news lately is the things that really depress our immune system, do not allow our body to function at its fullest. And we know that comorbidities like obesity and diabetes, heart conditions, high blood pressure, chronic stress, metabolic diseases, undernourishment, these are all things that are studied and are now well-known things that cause major issues when it comes to having a strong immune system. And so the great thing is that by addressing these issues, obesity, diabetes, heart condition, you'll create a stronger immune system, or vice versa. If you are worried about a weakened immune system right now, by addressing the things that you need to do to develop a strong immune system will help you combat a lot of these other chronic issues that lead to bigger problems down the road. And so that's the beauty of the human body, is that we give it what it needs, remove the interferences to the body functioning properly, and the body is designed and meant to be healthy. And one of the stats that Dr. Natalie talked about on the previous masterclass with Dr. Bob is that what the CDC had found with a relatively recent study was that 94% of people that had died from COVID had underlying comorbidities. So 2.6 other comorbidities that they died from. So a lot of these conditions. So again, more motivation for a lot of us just to address these problems and really truly get healthy. And so when we talk about building a fearless immune system, creating resilience within our body, we all have an immune system. It's meant to be there. It's meant to respond to all these things and keep us healthy. And it's just really upregulating our immune system's ability to adapt and be resilient. And so we do that through the 5 essentials, the things that we're going through this masterclass series. And we're starting that off with really something that we can't ignore. And that's the importance of the gut and having a healthy gut, a gut that is functioning properly, because your gut is where a lot of your immune system activity is happening. Over 70% is what most studies shows. And a lot of that is due to both your microbiome, so the healthy bacteria that you contain within your gut that you need there to have a properly functioning gut and immune system. Those bacteria are there to provide a lot of different functions. So breaking down food, breaking down nutrients, assimilating those nutrients so you can actually use those properly, as well as taking up space and within that environment so that other bad bacteria or bacteria that we do not want in those areas cannot overtake that. So Some of you maybe heard of small intestine bacterial overgrowth, so SIBO. That's when you get bacteria that shouldn't be there is overgrowing now in the small intestine. There's lots of other examples of just disbalance or dysregulation within the gut. And so the great thing about really eating and following a healthy diet plan, which we'll go over here in a second, you can really restore good balance of those bacteria within your gut. And ultimately, that's going to affect your immune system. Your immune system's constantly responding to things that are going on within your gut. Your gut's also producing a lot of micronutrients as well as other compounds that your immune system requires for proper function as well. And so one of the first things to talk about when it comes to creating a healthy environment within your gut is sugar. And it truly is a drug when it comes to the effects that it has on your body, because it definitely has effects and side effects that create a lot of issues. And sugar is such a powerful acidifying inflammatory compound that by taking it, if you do nothing else in your diet and the foods that you consume, nothing else besides take out the sugar, you'll have a massive transformation in your own health. And the first few days of taking out sugar, you might feel a little off, because our bodies become reliant on that sugar. Our brain becomes reliant on that sugar. Our hormones get used to utilizing or being in a high glucose environment, a high sugar environment, and over time that creates a lot of dysregulation and dysfunction within our body. And so it does take a little time for those things to balance out, depending on how much sugar you've consumed over the years. And the really great thing is that these things will balance out over time. You will notice a huge difference and drop the weight that maybe you've been looking to drop, have a lot more energy throughout the day without the ups and downs and the sugar crashes. And the joint pain that maybe you've been having, the sugar really affects joints. The cognitive, we'll say brain fog that you've been noticing will go away. It's amazing what happens when we just cut out this one thing. And it really affects our immune system, as it impairs a lot of different important functions that happen within our body, including something that a lot of you are familiar with is the importance of vitamin C, right? We hear a lot about how important vitamin C is for our immune system. It reduces our white blood cells' ability to utilize it. And even a lot of the white blood cells that go around scavenging pathogens and things that we don't want in our body, it inhibits the ability of those things to function as well. Even a lot of different gene function and expressions are affected by sugar. And the list goes on and on and on. It takes away a lot of energy and resources from your immune system. So your immune system can't go and address all the things that it should be addressing, and instead is focused on all the inflammation in the body. And so sugar is everywhere. It is found in things that you would never even expect. Most people don't think that going to Krispy Kreme and getting a donut is a great health choice. I get it. Maybe it's for the soul, right? But when we're looking at different areas where sugar is hidden, a lot of times it's in places like your dressings and different condiments, even things like canned foods, ketchup, fruit drinks. All these things contain sugar that you're not really accounting for. And so that's going to be something to really focus on this week, is seeing where a lot of sugar is hidden. And you can easily do that by just turning around packaged good and looking at the ingredient list, seeing how many grams of sugar they're adding in there. And ideally, you just want to cut out all those things, because chances are they're adding that sugar because they're taking out something else, or there's some reason that food's not going to taste good enough, so they're going to add sugar to it. And there's lots of different names for sugar, things that we can help you out with as well. But overall just really honing in on where you may be incorporating more sugar into your diet than you'd like to. And so our challenge for you this week, just because I could not think of a more important thing to start with when it comes to helping your immune system, helping the rest of your body function better, is really taking out all this sugar that we're adding in. And again, sugar can, be in a lot of different forms. A little extra challenge for some of you, and I'll go into this in a second, is addressing even more the carbohydrates that you're taking as well, because that can be processed as sugar in the body as well, and affects the body somewhat similar to sugar. But for this week, we want you to go cold turkey. So cutting out all sugar, and ideally I would do this for at least the next week, ideally for 2 weeks, because it's going to take a little bit of time for your body to rebalance and really detox properly from sugar. And so the great thing is that you're not going to deprive yourself doing this. You're going to cut out all the stuff that you probably know isn't going to be great for you anyway. But again, diving a little deeper into where those hidden sources could be. And so that's our challenge for you this week. And for our weekly attendance, I want you to comment. So throw in the comments what you're going to cut out, what one thing you need to cut out that has sugar in it or is going to be hard for you. Or comment with something that you want to know a swap for. And maybe that's like the sugar that you put in your coffee. Like, what should I do instead of putting sugar in my coffee? Or I love to make a smoothie in the morning and I usually put a little bit of sugar or maple syrup in there. Like, what should I add instead of that? Or I like to bake. We got Halloween coming up. What should we do for treats? Throw out something that you are not quite sure you could live without or get around, and we got all sorts of swaps for you. So let us know. It's great to hear from you guys too, what you're feeling about all of this. It really makes a difference. And so when it comes to really cutting these things out of your nutrition plan, how you live your lifestyle, that's why we do have nutrition plans out there, lifestyle plans to really accompany this. And that really can start with the core plan, which is just like eating real food. And for a lot of us, we're already on this track. We're doing really well at that. And so maybe the next step is to focus on quality now. So trying to go as organically as possible will make a huge difference in the food that you're consuming every day and the nutrients that you're providing for your body. And of course, we have the advanced plan as well. Talked with many of you about converting over to doing the advanced plan for even a few weeks. Some of you, even a couple months, would be really helpful in really quelling that inflammation in the body, healing your gut, rebalancing your hormones. The advanced plan can be super powerful for doing this and is really great to do this time of year as well, because now we're going to let your immune system get the chance to really function at its best and really set you up for the healthiest fall and holiday season you've ever had. And so the core plan, advanced plan are in the book that most of you have. If you don't have that, we do have copies at the office that we can get you. It lays everything out really nicely, gives a lot of the background information in terms of why these things are so important and why these little swaps are really helpful, and how to kick the grains out of the diet, a lot of the starches, and adding in more healthy fats and good healthy proteins to really help your body kick that sugar and that carb addiction as well and on top of just really packing in the nutrients, because when it comes to having a healthy immune system, loading your body with a good diverse set of foods that are going to provide your body with a plethora of nutrients that are going to be really supportive for all functions of the body, your nervous system, your hormones, your gut, your immune system, all require these nutrients to function at their best. And it doesn't have to taste like, like you're eating pebbles and sticks, right? Like there's ways of using spices and herbs and using good healthy fats to cook your vegetables in. Your kids will love it too if you're doing it with them. We have lots of different recipes and resources to share with you as well if you feel like you just need something new or need to try something a little different. So let us know how we can help you. And really adding in a lot of things like herbs and spices and some other superfoods are all immune supporting nutrients as well that maybe eventually we'll get to dive into more in terms of giving you guys additional resources, some deeper things to go into. We will be going into that in a couple of weeks here in a different masterclass, diving a little further into more advanced principles of nutrition. So you're going to love that talk as well. And something else that we can't negate and overlook is how stress affects all of us. It's something that I don't even have to tell you, that stress can affect your health, because most of us feel this, right? We feel it physically, maybe we feel it mentally. We're just bogged down and fatigued. Maybe, it affects our relationship from time to time. Maybe it's affecting our gut. Like we can feel those things a lot of times, and it's a real thing. Stress definitely plays a huge role in how our hormones function and how our body heals. And in the case of what we're talking about here with our immune system, stress massively impacts our immune function. It upregulates a lot of different hormones like cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, things that are not meant to be running through our body all the time. That's going to decrease your body's natural immune system functioning and affect our body's repair system. So that's how over time, when we're constantly under chronic stress, it leads to issues. And there's multiple studies out there that show 70+% of emergency room visits are due to stress related issues. And so one of the easiest things that you can do to quell some of that stress is just get moving, exercise. And wanted to bring up exercise just because it's something that's easy to overlook, especially when it's snowing out there. It's hard to want to get out and move, but really getting in any movement, some movement, especially something that you're breathing harder, you're starting to sweat, like a really upregulating a lot of those systems can really help your immune system overall. And there's various studies that look at cancer or heart disease and different immune function and show how much exercise really improves your overall health. And so if for nothing else, you're going to feel really great and feel energized, I think that alone is a huge win for a lot of us. And when it really comes to resetting our stress levels, our nervous system, like having proper sleep is absolutely important. And so again, most of us probably realize that we do need sleep, but let's make this a priority as well. This is also an added bonus challenge for the week. Focus on getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep for the next few weeks and just see how much better your day goes. This is something that I've come to really appreciate in my own life. I used to think I could get by on 5 or 6 hours, and until I made that a priority, I had no idea how much it was impacting, really a lot of different aspects of my life. And so sleep is massively important. That's when your body's doing so much repair and regeneration, rebalancing a lot of hormones. Guys, when you're working out really hard, and this goes for girls too, you release a lot more testosterone, growth hormone at night, and these things that help our body actually repair and heal better. And there's so many benefits of getting proper sleep. So shoot for 7 to 9 hours. There's a lot of different ways to really integrate that into your life and make it a better pattern, because sometimes we screw that up the next morning because we did not prepare right. And that's something that we can also help you out with, is just coming up with a better pattern and a better sleep, better habits around sleep. And so, and it's really hard to not talk about chiropractic, especially in this time when so many people have come in, working from home, working from your couch, your kitchen counter at home. You're, in these new poor ergonomical positions, and is putting a lot of stress on our bodies. And that physical stress on our spine affects our nervous system. And when we affect our nervous system and put our body into more of a sympathetic state, so that stressed state, it's again really hard for our immune system to function properly. And so there are dozens of studies that show how chiropractic affects our immune system's ability to upregulate and function better. And so some really interesting things to dive into there. Dr. Natalie will be going more into the fun facts with chiropractic. A lot of you have been doing great with your care. Is where I would definitely advise and really hopefully influence you to do more of your home care. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. You want to take care of your teeth for the rest of your life, so take care of your spine too. And just doing a few of your home care exercises every day can go a long way right now and really help your body function at its best. So when we remove the interference, we allow our bodies to function at its best. And really, we're going to take even a deeper dive next week when we go into cancer awareness. And really, a lot of us are aware that cancer is a big issue right now, but rarely are we ever talking about really what cancer is, how it's actually a natural process within the body, but how to prevent that or even reverse some of those processes through really the 5 essentials and through some other powerful principles that Dr. Natalie is going to talk about next week. So definitely tune in. Let us know if you have any questions in particular when it comes to any of the things that I just went over, or with cancer awareness coming up next week. Maybe you have something even within your own family that's been affecting you guys, and you're curious to know more about certain topics or certain avenues, and we'd be happy to accompany that. So thank you guys for tuning in. So excited to have you with us along this journey. And really, it is such an honor to provide some information that you won't be getting on the news when you turn it on tonight, or when you read the paper in the morning, or what a lot of people are posting on social media. So we love to come and give unbiased, just the best advice that we can give you, stuff that's in the research that comes out all the time and has come out for decades that nobody else is talking about. So love to be here on this journey with you. Let us know if you have any questions, and have a great night here.